if I'm doing the right thing in my life right now, and I'm thinking about what the right thing would be in a couple of ways. I've done a lot of narrowing, a lot of process of elimination, so I have my vision. I know what my overall lane is, but there's still a lot of directions I could turn. Hey, it's your girl Ahsante, helping you move consciously and creatively through life. So let's think about how we do that. I know that life is about the journey, not the destination. Crafting a life that you love isn't about reaching certain achievements. It's about having a day-to-day lived experience that feels fulfilling and refreshing and enjoyable. You of course have to be able to have the resources to do those things, but it's an experience where you can feel at peace and like you can express the fullest version of yourself. What's nice about having gone through my 20s, being intentional about my choices and trying a bunch of things, I talked about that a bit in my video on how I'm leaving my 20s soon, but what's nice about having done that is that now I know what I want my life to feel like. I know what I enjoy, I know what I value, I know the degree of freedom that I want in my day-to-day, I know what feels good to my body, I know how to listen to my body. And last year I got to a place where I finally felt like I'd arrived, and I think that feeling came from the fact that I was finally enjoying the journey. I had a bit more space in my life. And I hadn't, achieved anything in particular that year other than jumping off from employment, but it was a real change in my day-to-day lived experience. It was a change in my condition. I was able to wake up whenever I wanted to wake up, which meant that I was finally getting enough sleep. Since I was on a grant, I didn't have to worry as much about the economic viability of my position, and I was able to choose what else I worked on and have time to see my friends. The experience of my day-to-day just opened up, and I felt like for the first time I could be the fullest expression of myself. And so now I'm like, okay, how can I continue this situation, right? I actually don't need any more, right? I don't want any more lifestyle inflation. I love where I'm at, and so I'm just thinking about how can I keep this consistent? Achievements are nice, recognition is appreciated, but I feel like I've achieved enough to my satisfaction. Like, strangely, never thought I would really say that, but I really just want to maintain this way of life. That's what I'm craving more than anything else. So that's my desired result, and now I'm thinking about the right thing to do to achieve that desired result. I mentioned this in one of my email newsletters, but I think I'm second guessing what the right thing for me to be doing is because of the nature of independence and jumping off from an employer. When you work for yourself, you don't have a boss telling you what to do, structuring your tasks, or telling you you've done a good job once you've completed those tasks. That direct feedback from the figure of authority is typically how you would know that you're doing the right thing. When you're independent, you're not going to get opportunities unless you pursue them. And there are a lot of things that you could be pursuing, especially if you're someone who is up for learning new skills, which I love doing. Since I now have a choice in what I pursue, I kind of have unlimited options. And I once heard someone say this, unlimited choice isn't freedom, it's paralysis. So I'm like looking around and I'm like I could pivot in any direction, or I could just stay straight. I don't know, So I'm trying to find a way to narrow my choices. In my mind, there are 3 ways of thinking about whether you're doing the right thing in your life. The first is personal. Is this the thing that you really want to be doing for yourself in your life? Does it suit your talents and your temperament? Is it something that feels good, both in the activity that you're doing and in the lifestyle that you have while you engage in that activity? The second is social. Is this a high quality thing for society that other people find valuable? Is this a worthwhile contribution? Are you making a positive impact? Is this something that people like and want? I do think that doing the right thing involves having a positive impact on people. I think we all kind of want that because it makes us feel valuable and important and like we're connected, right? We're all craving that connection. And I think at a fundamental level, this is the thing I'm doing moral, morally the right thing to do? That's part of the social element. And the third is practical. Is this the thing that you need to do to sustain your life? While you're doing this thing, can you make sure that you're getting the resources that you need? Can you make enough money? Is maybe this thing the thing that you bring to market to get paid? Or can you fit something else in while you're doing this that can allow you to get paid? Are you even good enough at this thing to get paid for doing it? My adolescence and 20s have largely been about figuring out what feels personally right. I was also able to handle the other 2 well enough. I worked at nonprofits, so there was a social good mission, and I was being paid enough to keep the lights on. But I could really focus on learning as much as I could about what felt right for me personally to be doing with my time. Is this work that I enjoyed doing? What did I want to do outside of work? how did I want my days to look overall? So I feel like I do know what's personally right for me. And I think I know what feels right for me socially as well. I was working in public media, and specifically public media that's trying to be online, since that's where a lot of culture is created these days, trying to be a part of that discourse. And public media is explicitly a public service. The goal is to create trustworthy, accessible content that can help keep the public informed and help to change culture for the better. And working on my own, I'm trying to create videos that are a public service in their own way. I'm not just indulging my own whims, I am trying to help you to move consciously and creatively through life. And I do get feedback in the comments that lets me know that I'm on the right track with that, and I get feedback from my Patreon supporters as well. Thank you to the Brilliant Beans. So making impactful media that's accessible online, that can help people to think complexly about the world and about themselves, and therefore make better decisions about how they want to live and what they want to stand for, that feels like the socially right thing for me to be doing. And so now I'm trying to figure out the third right without losing the first two. Like, how do I make these things sustainable and make sure that I can have the resources that I need? Especially as I'm now getting older and I want to live a bit more comfortably than I even cared about when I was younger and, fresh out of college, living with 3 roommates, eating whatever. I want space. I want companionship. I want a bit more leisure in my life. And I feel like we should all be able to have those things, but the way this place is set up, those things cost a lot of money. And so in this economic system that loves devaluing people and taking advantage of people, I'm trying to figure out how to position myself so that I don't get trapped, especially since I'm not opting for the traditional just go get a job route. And that's the hard part. That's the real tension that I'm feeling as a small business owner who's new to the game and trying to figure out what's the best thing to spend my time on. And I have an idea for sure. I shared in another video what my income streams are, and I've been on YouTube for a long time, so I know how this works. So, I'm not totally lost, but I'm also not totally certain, and that's what that little feeling of like that's where that comes from. Particularly because that experimentation mindset that I've had up until this point now comes with much higher stakes. A while ago, I came across a framework for decision making that I found to be very illuminating, and it's the idea that there are 2 types of decision makers: maximizers and satisficers. Maximizers want to get the absolute most benefit they can, and so they look for the best solution. They wind up spending a lot of time researching all their options and optimizing their systems past the point of what's strictly necessary. Satisficers want to get to something that works well enough to suit their basic needs. They can come to a conclusion quickly and get the job done, but they might miss out on opportunities or not achieve the best result. I tend to be a maximizer. I do my homework. I like to be the best that I can be. I tend to hold myself to very high standards, especially in work environments. And I've definitely seen how sometimes I need to pull back and just do something that's good because good is good enough. I have a perfectionist streak, and as they say, done is better than perfect. And so I'm trying to strike that balance between taking advantage of opportunities and improving my systems as I go along, while also trying to not overthink it. There are a lot of things that I could be doing and that I'm interested in doing, but for now, I just have to pick one that seems good enough based on the information that I have at the time. That's it. And really, with figuring out what to do with my time, there's no one right answer because there's no one best outcome because we don't know what all the possible outcomes could be. It's that tendency we have to pretend that we can see into the future when we really can't. So that's why part of my affirmation is to have faith and trust in God's plan. I have to let go of that feeling of needing to have the right answer. It's about making decisions based on the information that I have at the time, tuning into my moral compass, to my values, trying to listen to the universe, listen to my intuition, and go from there. I'm taking one step at a time, I'm building my life in layers, and I don't know exactly where I'm going, but I'm gonna keep doing what I can with what I have to leave this place better than I found it. Once a Girl Scout, always a Girl Scout. Shout out to the Brilliant Beans who are supporting my work and helping me to make these videos. I cannot thank y'all enough. As always, remember to live spiritedly and think creatively, and I will see you next time.